Hello, I'm Ray.
And I'm Jenny in War Weber Family Reviews, and we made it through the Wall of Shame.
By the way, I'm eating a muffin as we go. So it was less than 2 weeks, really. 13 days and 19 games.
He played during the week at night. This is fairly impressive. And this was his goal, so he came through big time. A couple of nights, he was getting pretty grumpy towards the end of the games.
Yeah.
So, but we can talk about what was good, what was mediocre, what we're keeping, what we're not. So the first game is we don't have, because actually our friendly local game store had a swap meet. And so Ray sold a couple of games. We had a pile already going, and so he already sold Aftermath. Yep. So it's not here.
Aftermath's gone. It was okay, but we have a lot of campaign games, and some of which I think definitely do it better. So.
Yes, it was. The mechanics were, I think, clunky.
I don't know. There wasn't a lot of things that we could do to review it. We kind of rushed into it, but I don't think it was worth exploring farther based on the fact that we have adventure tactics, which I think is great. We have Imperial Assault for the complex stuff. It just wasn't going to get played.
It's one of those games I think you'd have to spend a lot of time with the rule book and then in depth, and he loved how the book worked.
Yeah, the book was cool.
So I think if you figured out the rules, it'd be totally worth it. And if you didn't have another campaign game you're playing through, but he has a bunch, he's interested.
So let's see, what do we got? All right, Tiny Epic Dungeons. These are going to be like 2-minute reviews. Tiny Epic Dungeons, hard.
Yeah, we lost.
Big time loss. But I thought it was fun. I think it's a good non-campaign quick dungeon crawl. And it is quick, especially if you lose. And we lost.
Yeah.
We lost. Big time loss. So, Tiny Epic Dungeons, we're keeping it. I thought it was good. She thought it was okay. Good enough for me.
I'm not a dungeon crawler, so that's a pretty good rating for me. This we bought for our 12-year-old who loved it. This was actually a really good game. This is a lot of fun. It's a really simple little tableau, can do stuff, but there is some strategy in there, and the cards are cute. It was fun. It was easy to teach. I could see playing this with a huge assortment of people. I guess there's a cat lover too. We might eventually have to have both.
Cat lady.
Yeah.
Cat lady.
But this worked in certain cards went together, and if you could get them, you could get lots of points. And that's really it, but that gives it a fair bit of strategy for what on the surface is a very simplistic game. So this is definitely a keeper for our dog-loving 12-year-old.
And I thought that was good. Death Angel. She didn't have to play it. I ran it solo and got ran into the ground, but I liked it. Right now it's staying in the collection. It's hard to find out of print, but as a card game, especially solo, it flowed really good. Again, much like Tiny Epic Dungeons, I got my butt kicked, but that's because I did something stupid initially and it just spiraled out of control. But I thought it was a good card game. I think Adam would enjoy it.
Yeah, and I didn't have to play it, so all the better.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Imperial Struggle. So this is actually already sold. We're not keeping it. So this is a good game. I'm going to tell you that flat out, but it's a very long game and it's very fiddly. And we've discovered about ourselves that our kryptonite is fiddle.
Yep.
We don't do fiddle. We actually finished this, we looked at each other, and we're getting rid of this and Twilight Struggle.
We reached that point.
And they're both really good games. And if you want really in-depth historicals with lots of meat to it, this is a great game. So is Twilight Struggle. They're not for us because we don't want to deal with the fiddle. We do have 1960.
Chits.
Yeah, the little chits. We have 1960 and we're keeping it. I do really like 1960. But we finished this, which goes through a bunch of different wars. Like you do the War of Spanish Succession, the 7 Years' War, the American Revolution. And I look at Ray and I go, I'd rather play Academy Games 1775 or 1812, which are just much more streamlined. Now, do they have the same depth? Absolutely not. But we'd rather play them. So we're not going to play this. But I don't think it's a bad game. It's just not our game.
It's a pretty standard GMT. It has chits for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all sorts of stuff. And I think complex is fine. Complicated is fine. But when you're digging through trying to find stuff and you're putting it, I don't know. It just didn't sit.
We've just figured out that's what we don't like. The other thing is their rule books are awful. Awful, 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 awful.
Yeah, but that's GMT. Chronicles of Crime. We're keeping this for our son. It works well. I thought it was fun. It's got some. You got to start really being detail oriented. I think it's great, and I'm gonna double up here. I'm gonna double up here. I think that's the right way. Yeah. He really enjoyed the Quest for the Moonstone Kid Chronicles. He likes the app and looking for clues. We're gonna play through this. He's 12, so we're gonna play through this, and when it's time, we're gonna pick select cases, and we'll run them through the Chronicles of Crime. I think both of these worked out well. We both liked them.
They were in the app was actually really good.
Yeah.
I was worried, but like the look around the room, you spin, you see the whole 360 of the room, and oh my gosh, our 12-year-old lit up with that Moonstone. He didn't play Chronicles of Crime. We just did the tutorial because we wanted to kind of see how the app worked. We also, like, as far as the tutorial, I think most of them will be fine content-wise for our 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to know your own kid and their age levels, but by the time we finish Moonstone, he's probably going to be 13, which means that, he's got another year before we even start on Chronicles of Crime. So I think, meat-wise, it'll work for us. Okay, Quacks. This was fun. This is a push-your-luck game, bag building, and you're trying not to make your potion explode. And we had seen this, a lot of people talked about it, but we couldn't find it. Ray got it for me when he was at Adepticon. And it's a lot of fun. It's just a simple little push your duck game, but you can buy the new ones and you're putting more in your bag, hoping to do better. Yep. But you can still draw really poor and you still explode your potion. We did play one rule wrong that we realized like 2/3 the way through, and it did change it. It's over 7, not 7 when it explodes.
Yep.
But we had a lot of fun with this, and I could see playing it with a lot of different people. It's quick and easy to teach.
Yep.
But there's a lot. Do I spend the more money on the more upgraded stuff, which pushed me farther, or do I buy a lot of smaller stuff, hoping to kind of dilute my bag?
Big.
He did really good with these 4-step blue ones, but like my red ones really did good. So we had a lot of fun with Quacks.
Which leads us to Meeples and Monsters. I wanted to love this game. You'll notice there's a price tag on it. It's on this side. Right here. I would rather play Automobiles and Quacks than play this one. And there's a lot of good stuff going for it. There really is. I love the upgrading your meeples. I love putting them in the bag, pulling them out. I like bag building. But it just seemed like you were hemmed in. It's like you only got to build those extra 8 slots, and it was random how they came out. And so I don't think it's a bad game. I actually thought, it was kind of fun, but I'm never going to pull this one out compared to some of the other ones. So unfortunately, Meeples and Monsters, great premise, good start, seem to be missing something.
We really debated. There's a tower expansion in here. We thought, well, maybe I'll do it, but we decided we didn't need to fix a game. We had too many other good choices because we actually kind of cheated the first one. We both got we're like, we want the cooler, upgraded other meeple colors. They're at the bottom. We would have never gotten because there's no way to reset the choices, and you only get to put 8 out.
Now, if there is, and you know of it, and we missed that rule,
let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments.
We just started, every turn, we just tossed one, which a lot of times is the cleanup for a lot of games anyways. We just decided one fell off every turn, and we kind of, so that we got the other ones out. But we both felt like those specialty meeples, like the green and
those
the purple,
were cool.
They should have started out. Like, that's what we felt like. Like, those should have been permanent. And that's where I think we did, because everything else, the upgrades and stuff, but it was just like, there was a little bit of weird.
That was you, but there was some weird interactions too.
There was. It just, neither of us, it didn't hit for either one of us.
Next.
I'll double up now. Okay, so we have Paladins here, and we have Viscounts.
Hold on, I'll help with this. So this is the big box, so I'll do it this way.
Okay, so we have Paladins and we have Viscounts.
Of the West Kingdom.
Of the West Kingdom. And we'd already played Architects, and so this was finishing out the trilogy, and we liked both of these.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we knew we were probably keeping them anyways. We've actually already backed the first one is South Tigris, and we have all of North Seas. We actually just played Viscounts today, and it was a lot of fun. I think as it got going, we figured out we're actually planning on, we want to, here next month or so, sit down, play all 3 more or less in a row, and then kind of rank what we think of each one. But we enjoyed all of them. I think they were all good. Just like North Seas, I think these really live up to the hype. And I know that the first time I played, I think the first one we actually played was Architects.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was like, this isn't going to live up to the hype. And it did. So these were all really good.
You really like these, but I think I like Paladins the most, but I don't remember if it's...
Well,
like, I don't have an order because Architects, it was a while, but each of these really had a lot going for them, and they're fun. So, Vast does not have a price sticker on it, but this one is a bear to teach and run. So we had game night, and I grabbed 4 friends. I said, I got to figure this out for Shelf of Shame. So you're in. And we all fought because it's asymmetrical. It's the root issues all at once. And I watched the stuff on them before. We had the rule book, and we were still fighting. And then we figured it out in time for my good friend Joe to go, I warned you guys like 6 turns ago that you needed to start poking at me. I win. And legitimately, he did. He was like, I just read this. Hey, everybody, you got to start hitting me, or I'm going to win. He won because we didn't poke at him. But I thought it was great. And if we could consistently kind of play it with the group, and the group liked it too. If we all could play it with the group, the asymmetrical stuff for each one probably work out pretty good as we all figured it out. So I like Vast. I'm going to keep it. That was fun. You got to skip that one.
I know. Great. I didn't have to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've actually played this one twice at this point. This is Creature Comforts, and this is on our maybe pile. I'm keeping it for now. I don't know how long it's going to last. I want to like this game. And I like a lot of things about it, but the box says 45 minutes. The box lies. Now, the first game we played at game night, we started with 5 players and we went down to 4. We were playing with the newborn and with game night, so there's a lot of interruptions, and we were teaching. But it still took 2 hours. This should not take 2 hours for this type of game.
Well, then you and I played, and
we played a 2-player game, and it took him a round or 2 to kind of, but I already knew how the rules, and it still took us over an hour. And usually we can get through, if it says 45 minutes in the box, 2-player, we can get through it in 45 minutes or less. A lot of times we're under the time zone.
We got through Gugan, Kanban, and Atlantis Rising, and Museum, and Cellulose. Faster than we got through Creature's Comforts.
Now the problem here, this is where I think this is a very family weight nice game, meaning that you can always go everywhere. There's no, most worker placements, once someone goes, you can't go, someone else can't go. This, every spot, everyone can go. That means there's too many choices. It's all symmetric, and so it's AP. We're not AP prone. We're not. We're usually make a decision and go with it. But even we were getting stuck consistently. I
don't think we were really.
I don't think we were stuck. It was just to work out what you wanted to do.
I just don't. Because both you and I were very decisive in our game, and it just seemed to outstay the time.
It just takes us. So we'll see. I really like it. Oh my gosh, the pieces are so cool in this Kickstarter version. So I'm probably need another play. I'm hoping that with experience, it's one of those games that you need experience, because if it's sped up, I think it would be a perfect game. But right now it is too long for what it is.
Yeah.
And you can only do like 4 of the buildings, and you don't really get more than 4 of the buildings done in the number of turns, because there's only so many seasons. You go through like a year and there's so many cards. But it just I don't know, it was too long. But anyways, I want to like it. It's staying for now, but I don't know how long it's going to
We're talking a lot more on the grouchy ones than the non ones.
Well, because we're like, why did we not like it? You know what I mean?
Because this is what we think is the best game out of the group. It's Kanban. We happen to have the driver's edition. Yes, I know there's an EV edition.
He doesn't need the EV edition.
I don't really like the blinding white design of the Rococo and the Kanban one. Maybe they fixed some rules, but I thought the rules worked fine. Especially with in the driver's edition, the limited edition for 2018, custom shaped wooden cars. No, it's Kanban. It's a Vital Lacerda game. Ooh, almost blended that one. There's a lot going on. It is a worker placement-ish action point. Do X number of things, get things to do other things to get points. And in this one, you can pick. We did pick the nice boss.
Yeah, you could have Mean Sandra, Nice Sandra, or the Sandra of Scrutiny.
Ooh.
We chose Nice Sandra. That's the CEO who then... But it's weird because every game, even like a 4 or 5, has the automated CEO, Sandra, who then moves around. And if she lands in your department, you get audited.
Yep.
And Nice Sandra, just if you don't meet it, okay, you just don't get the reward. Mean Sandra, you don't.
Punished.
You get punished if you don't meet it, but you don't get anything for making it. So.
And Sandra of Scrutiny is kind of... You get rewarded, but only if you're really, really, really putting in the time.
But we both really liked that one.
That one was really good.
It was. And like any Lacerda, it took a while to kind of figure out all the different bonuses, but once you got going, it went really smooth. Okay, this is Cellulose. We like this one.
You mean Cytosis?
Oh, no, this is Cellulose.
I know.
Okay. It plays almost identically to Cytosis if you played Cytosis. Obviously, this one is photosynthesis. Cytosis is the
Meiosis?
mitosis, maybe? No, because it's... Well, anyways, that one's human. This one's plant.
Yeah.
But anyways, we obviously need to read the science booklet that comes with it.
We've played a lot. It's been a long day. We don't have to remember, biology from high school.
Yeah, neither of us.
Physics guy.
Yeah, and I'm a math teacher and a historian. Yeah, no, the biology is neither of ours thing. But this really did live up to it. There's a couple little cute, there's like the plant board. We play with regular plant board. On the other side, you can play with mangrove.
Yeah.
That looks really cool. But the card play is neat. This is a typical Genius Games, and that there's a lot of science in it, and you can read the whole science going on, but the game runs really smooth. Once we got past the first round, it was nice. And this one was one where there was the better action that only one person could take, and then there was kind of the lesser action everyone could take. Water was limited. It went down every time someone took a water action. And really, the game moved along at a nice rapid pace. So this was a lot of fun, and it's got a great educational bent if you're looking.
Don't let one person get all the end-game scoring.
Yeah, I kind of creamed him.
We'll get to that later in different games. All right. This is the first edition of Atlantis Rising. And yes, I know they've made changes in the second edition. But we traded for both Kanban and Atlantis Rising. And I thought this was an excellent co-op game. Is it the best of the group we have here? No. But I think this is the only co-op game. This is the only co-op game. So yes, it is the best co-op game that... No. We got Chronicles of Crime.
Oh, and the Quest. Those are both co-ops.
All right, well, this one worked out really well. Even the older edition just worked smooth. I was afraid that there was going to be some fiddle when you were dealing with the Atlantis sinking. And there wasn't. It went smoothly. Everything flowed
and we
well.
won by one tile.
One tile, one single resource. We pulled it off. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It'll be here for a while. I don't know if it'll stay permanently, but Atlantis Rising, at least, first edition in this case. Would I be willing to try the second edition? Yeah, definitely. Do I think I need it? Probably not. I'd try it and see if it's something I want to change. But that one was definitely one of my choices, but it worked out well.
Yep. Okay, this is Century Eastern Wonders. And as expected, we enjoyed this one. I think he actually liked this one better than regular Century.
Century Spice Road? Yeah, I like this one better than Century Spice Road, but not by a ton.
This has a board to go with it that you're moving on to do with your card play, and it worked good. A little bit more complicated. So the base Century is definitely the streamline. You want just a nice, simple game. Easy to teach. This one's a little bit more in depth, but it was still really easy for us to pick up. It was a lot of fun. It worked really smooth, and we enjoyed it. So.
And it's not a new world, so.
Yeah. Well, I want to play New World now with all 3 of them.
We just finished this, and we missed a rule. This is Gugon. It is the...
I bet a 1 had we found that rule earlier.
I didn't do it on purpose.
Because you won by 1 point.
It's Gugon. The deluxe edition, I didn't mean to get the deluxe edition. I thought it was a regular. But it came out well. I again, doing trading. And I enjoyed this. Now, I enjoy the designer is the same guy that did Hansa Teutonica. And this one worked really well. The card play is great. So you want to do an action? Fine. You got to play a card out of your hand that is greater than the number there. And you take that card off of the action, put it in your discard pile. If you can't, this is the rule we screwed up. You can discard an extra card to play those actions, or you can throw 2 meeples away. And that would have changed the game for both of us. We both kind of got stuck. But it was, I liked it a lot. I thought it was fun. I thought it was really fun, and it was quick.
Yeah, once
Even
we
learning.
figured out I think with all the last couple games we played, Viscounts, this one, and Kanban, it was all really just, okay, we've got to figure out the icons. Once we had the icons down, which took about 2 rounds, they all
Snap.
sped up, no problem. It's that first little bit of, okay, what does this do? What does that do? Like, Gugon, we set it up, and then I point, okay, what does that do? And I'm trying to figure out what each one of them does. But then once we got past the first round, I had that, you know.
And the actions worked out great. The card play, I really like the card play. That's how you do actions, but you get the card you replace. So you are theoretically always going down.
But you can go up because 1 beats 9. It goes in a circle. So that's really kind of cool because then it does help that, like, 9s aren't unbeatable.
Yep.
Okay, and the last one here, Museum.
Yeah.
And this one definitely met our expectations. So we'd had Curators, and Curators was a huge disappointment. And the action selection was really cool how that worked on Curators, but it just was ugly to look at. This one has the much more, the theme that I'm looking for to go with it. And it's kind of cool because you've got different piles of artifacts for different continents. And so where you go is, if you go to North America, you're going to get like Incan artifacts. Whereas if you go to, Africa, you're going to get Egyptian or whatever. And so that was really cool. It felt very much, and there's an event each time. So sometimes,
Closing it.
Yeah, the Middle East is closed. You can't go there. And so it changes every round. But overall, this one went smooth. It was what we wanted. It had that right theme and look to it, as well as, I think, just nice, clean gameplay. So this is definitely one that met what I was looking for, a good museum game. And we like this one.
So I'm going to go off script. Biggest disappointment? Definitely going to go with Aftermath for me. You didn't have any expectations for that one.
My biggest disappointment was Creature Comforts, and we'll see if it changes, but that was the one that just, I laid out, oh gosh, this is so great, I love this, I want to do all these actions, and then it just drug on. And even Monsters and Meeples was the same thing. I remember thinking as we're halfway through that, like, where's the second card? Because there's 3 cards that come up that trigger endgame. And I'm like, where's the second card? Where's the second card? And it felt like it was just never coming. And the same with Creature Comforts. Like, it's only 8 rounds, and it just felt like it was never ending. And so I think for me, it was definitely Creature Comforts was the biggest disappointment.
Biggest surprise? We didn't actually pick one that we would, we were confused on. These are all ones that we had.
I think Dog Lover was the biggest surprise, because that was definitely a random purchase for our son. And I don't think any of us went into any expectations, and it was a lot better. I expected a fluffy, cute card game. It's actually more than I expected. I would say that's probably the biggest surprise.
I would go with that. Best game, I gotta go Kanban.
Both of us agree that the best overall game was Kanban. Now, we disagreed on what we thought the most fun game was. I thought Quacks was just for pure, simple fun. Quacks,
And
just fun.
Went with Dog Lover. It's not complicated. There's stuff there, but it's not complicated, and it was just fun. Now, it might be I played that with my son, and he enjoyed it. But, so that's where we're at. The Shelf of Shame is done, so we can go to Origins to start the process over again.
Yeah, we don't want to mention the 2 that's in the garage. If it doesn't come in the house, it doesn't count. It's kind of
Why
like...
are you bringing that up?
Well, there's reality. One of our friendly local game stores was having a spring cleaning sale.
So we basically picked them up.
But it's just like inventory. Little stores will get inventory, like in late December, and they won't open it till January, so don't have to worry about inventory for the end of the year.
Well,
same thing.
No, I would say those came in sale and late. The Shelf of Shame is done.
Yeah.
Those
Well, and
count.
actually, one of them is a Christmas game. We've been looking for a good Christmas game. We actually got rid of a game when we purchased that one. So, now, to be fair, the box for the new one's bigger than the box for the old one.
But really, the Shelf of Shame is done. You just told on us. But the reality is, those ones, we wouldn't have picked them up if they weren't on, 30% sale. And honestly, they didn't really get here till today. So that means we're in good shape. Shelf of Shame's done. We can start tomorrow rebuilding it. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Talk to you later.